Hello, welcome to Mr. Quick's class, 12th grade. Today, they're going to present their cumulative clause projects on the life of a slave.
Good morning, we are 12th grade Blue Group and we are here to present our poster board project.
So we're here to explain the use of cumulative clauses of the life of slaves according to Frederick Douglass. First of all, we wrote one sentence, but with using one independent clause and 5 dependent clauses. Okay, first of all, the independent clause, it represents a complete thought. Unlike the dependent, it doesn't represent a complete thought, and it has to, it has to contain subordinate clauses like since, because, and these stuff. First, the sentence is, since the slaves are being treated unfairly, they're not given any rights, which includes not knowing their ages and separating them from their mothers at a young age because they're forced to work in other farms in order to bring money to farm owners after they finish working. So now it's clear that since the slaves are being treated unfairly is the dependent clause, and they're not given any rights is the independent clause because it has subject and predicate. So it completes on it's an independent clause, which includes knowing their ages and separating them from their mothers at a young age. This is the dependent. So first we have 2 dependent, and then because they're forced to work in other farms, here is another dependent clause. In order to bring money to work to farm owners, here is another one, and after they finish working. So here we have 1 independent and 2 dependent. So now this sentence, it gives us an introduction or an idea about the old book that we read, which is the narrative by Frederick Douglass, which talks about the slaves, the lives of slaves, and how they're treated unfairly and how they separate them from their mothers. That's it.
About the slave life in general, describe every single struggle they had.
And now, so here we have the color code of the sentence. Here with the pink one is the dependent clause, and the independent clause here is 1.
They are not given any rights. That's the independent clause. You can see it's written in gold, and the dependent clauses are written in pink. You can actually see that.
Okay, so we're done.
We're done.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Vicente from the Orange Group. Now I'm going to describe the project that we did. This is about the cumulative clause, and I'm going to talk about Frederick life of slavery. Now, in this independent and dependent clause, we use both. I'm going now to read the first clause, the independent one. Slaves were having struggled in the past years. This is the independent one. And the other, since they weren't able to tell about their ages, birthdays, as other children, although they can be able to read or write, so that rich people can control them as they want, even though the author wanted to show the new generations what was happening in the past, and that the dependent clauses. Here's the life of Frederick and how people were living in the slave life in the past. And in the old book, he talked about the slavery life that he was living and how it was unfair and how they had discrimination. And also we talked about the grammar things, the independent and the dependent, the clauses, the sentences that gives a complete thought, and the others that doesn't give a complete thought, as we did. And we highlighted the independent one with the silver color, and the dependent one with the green color. That's it. Thank you.
We're the red group of grade 12, where it consisted of 5 people: Liban, Abdulwahab, Ahmed, and Abdurrahman. We were asked to do a project of using accumulated clauses and parts of the book we read, which is the narrative life of Frederick Douglass. We're going to start out with my colleague, which is going to explain the clause.
So, independent clause is a group of organized words that contain a subject-verb relationship and that can complete a full thought. So, as you see in this sentence that we wrote, which is a cumulative clause, which my colleague will explain what is a cumulative clause later. Right here, the slaves get whipped. That's the independent clause, and the dependent clause is a group of organized words that contains a subject-verb relationship, but does not complete a full thought. And you can see here when the slaves, it starts off with a subordinate conjunction, and you see when the slaves. When the slaves disobeyed their master, that's the independent clause. And after that, when the slaves, even though that's a subordinate conjunction, which is in the I think opposition. I might be wrong. Section, I don't know. But the rest of it is independent clause. And here's my colleague, Abdurrahman, who will explain the field. Okay.
Okay, we have been asked to, as I said, do a project about using cumulative clauses, which is mix or like mixing between dependent clauses and independent clauses. And we were asked to do 5 dependent clauses and 1 independent clauses in 1 sentence. And as we can see, when the slave disobeyed the master, this is a subordinate clause, or otherwise said dependent clause. The slaves get whipped, this is complete thought, so it's an independent clause. Till the rest, even though they could have not done anything, which sometimes led to the death of some slaves, provided that the slaves had very few clothes to wear and food to consume. All of that is dependent clauses, and to know where the dependent clauses start is when you have a subordinating conjunction or relative pronoun starting the sentence. As you can see, the project asks about how the slaves were treated and how Frederick Douglass described it in his book, The Merits of Life. We have been doing some artwork which shows some of the kinds that how the slaves were treated. They get whipped severely if they do not listen to their master, or even if they listen, but they even if they listen or they but the master just wants to whip them. They had really small amount of clothing, and it could be always ripped and not even enough to fit them, or they don't have anything that could feed their coldness. They had really small amounts of food to consume, and they used to work on cotton plantations. They and that's it.
The title of our thing is, my friend says, we're finished.
Thank you.
What's up, everybody, with the Green Group? I'm Ali Ashraf. I'm going to be presenting our project about slavery and others. First of all, independent that complete thought and doesn't need anything to complete the sentence, and dependent needed another thing to complete the thought. And here you can see when talking about slavery, you should remember that the slaves is also human beings. That's an independent sentence, because they are not animals. Before treating the slaves badly, or treating them badly, whenever you should, that is a racism attitude. When they arrived in the world, that's a dependent clause. And whenever you should that, you are equal in everything like them. See, that's only one independent clause that's written in red. I'm going to read it again. You should remember that the slaves is not also, that slaves also human beings. So that's the Green Group presentation. I'm representing Ahmed Abbas, Ali Ashraf, Ziad Ahmed, and thank you guys for your time.
Okay, all right, thank you very much for joining us here for the 12th grade Cumulative Clause Projects on the Life of a Slave by Cortland Frederick.